Today is the 6th of March and it is an absolutely glorious day, and it's the first day that I've had a weekday off and the weather's been amazing. So I am going on my first hike. I'm not doing anything too dramatic. I had a look at my previous hike list, and I think my last hike was at the end of November last year, which amazes me really, because I can't imagine how the weather was good enough, but apparently it was. So I'm going to head off, just trying to work out my route. The roads are a bit of a nightmare. We've got some road closures. They're building a bypass, so it's all a little bit chaotic, but we'll get there. I'm not going that far, so it's not like it's going to give me a really long journey time. I am going to kind of familiar territory really. So I'm starting off at the Woodhead Tunnel, and I'm taking a route that I'm familiar with the area, but I haven't done this exact route. But this will be my first hike for the Peak District for 2025. So let's get on the road and let's see what we shall see. God, what was that? That did not sound good. Oh, this is ridiculous. Really? Man, I hope I didn't do any damage to my car there. Did you hear that bang? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm here. Looks amazing, as always. A bit breezy. I'm glad I brought a coat. Although I usually end up losing the coat halfway round because I get really warm. I'm going to have breakfast first because I brought that with me. And then we'll get going. So just down to my right is the Woodhead railway tunnel, which has been shut for many years, and the trains used to run under the Peak District towards Sheffield, and they got shut by Mr. Beeching, and they've talked about reopening it. Not quite sure how, because there's no railway line now, and the old railway line, you can walk along it all the way back down past the reservoirs, but now they run all the cabling that goes under the hills and doesn't mess up the moorland, because this is national park. This is all protected, thankfully. So I'm going to just get myself organised, have my breakfast, and then we will get going. There's quite a lot of people parking up. It is so warm, it's just amazing. Have a look at this. So that's where I'm parked, up there, and then you can see the main Woodhead Road there, and the Woodhead Tunnel is just back there. I brought my binoculars today. Definitely sounds like spring out. Birds are everywhere. This is absolutely spectacular. I didn't take my coats. It's really warm. So they're going to follow this main track, and then I think I have to go over a brook and then follow a very clear track upwards. I haven't researched this trip very well. I'm not planning on going particularly far. But I think somewhere on my route there's a waterfall, which I should be able to get to. But we'll see how we get on. Clear blue skies today. as you can see there, and 15 degrees. So I may end up losing a layer at this rate. Got a bit of lack of clarity on this camera at the moment. The sun is right in front of me. But we're not going to complain about the sun, that's for sure. Woodhead Flow Measurement Station. That'll make a very cute little garden shed, wouldn't it? Oh man, this is amazing. We're in early March, so it still looks quite brown up here. I would imagine the nights and the not sunny days are pretty cold still up here. But there's a lot of bird life going on. You can hear robins. I've heard some wrens. I think I've seen some pipits. I hear the robin now. Remnants of walls, probably trying to keep the land from crumbling. Don't know how unfit I'm going to be today. So last October I bought an under-desk treadmill for at home, and I've been doing my 10,000 steps every day, pretty much every day ever since. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have a reasonable level of fitness today compared to if I hadn't. But we'll soon find out. blackbird. I think this is the brook that I'm going to have to cross. Yes, this is as far as I got last time, and last time I walked up there and went up that way. But today, somehow I need to get across this without falling in. That is deep. I think we have to try and cross up there somewhere. Let's have a look. If I end up having to get really wet, I'm just going to end up getting really wet, aren't I? But I'd rather not get really wet at the start of the hike. We can cross down here. Now, I fell into one of these last year. Kind of. This is not going to be easy. Huh. I want to cross there. I think I'm just going to have to get a bit wet and put you down and try and make my way across. I did it. I'm over. It was a bit slippery and I went in about halfway up my boot. It wasn't quite as deep as it looked. I don't think I'm wet, but these boots are supposed to be waterproof. So we've made it, and now we carry on that way. Oh, I feel triumphant. I mean, worse ways I could have just taken off my shoes and socks and waded through, but it wasn't that deep. So this is now new territory for me. I haven't walked this stretch, and we're following an existing trackway, so not easy to get lost. Wow, it's warm. Just lose the scarf for a start. Always come prepared. I've come prepared to remove layers. So I always bring things that I can attach things to. So I've got my rucksack, but I've also got like a runner's belt that I used to use, and that can be really handy. Still hear robins and jenny wrens. This is amazing. So this is where we start going upwards. Turn you round. This is where the inclines get me. Man, look at this view. Let's take you up to a viewpoint. Look at that. See the Woodhead Road there, which is the only driving route across the moors here. You don't get much of a run into the steep inclines here. It's a very hilly area. Not like the Transpennine Trail where you might walk on the flat for miles. This is steep. Whew. Look at all those trees. I have to get my water out. Dry as anything. guessing that the waterfall is probably down there somewhere. If I'd stayed on that other route, I think that's probably where it was, but that's okay. That means I've probably done it before. This is the trail I really wanted to have a go at. That's a long way down there. I'm not a heights person. Listen. I swear I just heard a red grouse. If you go back to one of my hikes last year in the autumn, I was surrounded by red grouse, and it was really incredible because I've never seen or heard them in real life before, so that was one of my bucket list. Running, or the brook, or the clough, whatever it is, running down there. There is a vehicle up ahead. Who would have thought? Must be it's either going to be water utilities or park management. interesting. Look, there's a little bridge. Now, presumably, we have to follow that. So I've reached the end of the road. I'm going to have to go over this bridge and see where on earth I end up. I do have my Google Maps, which is pretty good at finding my location, but I can't get the satellite view to work today for some reason. So I can't see all the paths that I normally would. That's a great view. Steps and a railing. That's very civilised, isn't it? Wow. There's a bridge down there. Wonder where the owner of that vehicle is. I wonder if this might end up being a circular route. Because I feel like I'm skirting back towards where I started now. Be good if it did. I don't like doing walks where you have to walk out and back on the same route, because it's nice to see different things. Wow. Look at that. This feels a little bit more like the walks I have done on the Pennine Trail. This is very much off-piste. Wasn't actually, well, was I? I don't know. I don't think I was expecting this. hear that, but right in front of me, over the edge there, is a red grouse. I can hear it. I doubt we're going to see them though. Okay, this is different. It's definitely a route because I can see other people's footprints here. But I'm surprised they let people walk along here because we're walking on the peats. And it's very up and down. That previous stretch of route is fine if you're okay on flats, but okay with gradients. This will only be a good route if you're comfortable hiking more difficult routes. This is not for beginners in terms of, you know, just having an easy walk. I don't really know where I'm going though. You couldn't see any of this on the map. There was no planned routes. Google Maps is pretty good at showing you trail routes, but I didn't see any of this. And even on the satellite view, depending on what time of year they do the maps, it can be hard to see the routes. This is, I'm going to press on because I can still see the trail, but this is not a well-walked route. Now, there was another hiker who left before me and went in this direction, so he may well be ahead of me somewhere, which is why I'm seeing footprints. I'm very unsure about what I'm doing here. It's a bit weird, I can't see a route here. It's like it's just disappeared. Being hunted by grouse by the looks of it. It looks like a bit of a tree. Red grouse, got him. Look at him go. No, I'm not doing this. My gut instinct tells me I've completely lost my route. I wonder if I can go up there instead. It looks like something like there might be a trail up there, but it doesn't look very walkable. I'm just going to go back. To be honest, when I was planning this, I thought that, so that point where that truck is, I thought that was going to be the end of my trail anyway. So this little extra bit is a bit of fun. And I got to see a red grouse, which was great. Worth it just for this view though. this stone for a minute. I don't know what I'm doing today. The trails are very, very vague. Maybe I can go up there. I might have a look. I don't know what the time is, so I don't think I've been out very long. It's only 10:30. These are kind of vague trails, like the sort of thing that animals would use. I mean, that was definitely a trail down there because there were footprints, and maybe it's the chap who's got that truck, and maybe he's a worker and he knows what he's doing. But I don't feel like traipsing across the middle of the moorland. I might see if I can follow that track for a bit. But I don't want to go off piste and start tramping my way all over the heather, which is what I started to do, because it belongs to nature, and the grouse certainly will get very cheesed off with me if I start walking all over their breeding grounds, and the forestry workers don't like it either. So I'm going to go back across the bridge, and I might have a look at what it kind of looks like. A trail. It looks like a vehicle has driven up there at some point, but it might be walkable for a bit. It will be nice to get to the summit, because I'm not quite at the summit here. But I don't want to go way out my way and get lost, especially when I can't get the maps to load properly. And it's the first hike of the year, you know. It's just nice to get out in this beautiful, gorgeous weather. It's so warm. And we might not get weather again like this for a bit, because we tend to get a cluster of nice days like this, and then it'll be torrential rain and dropping to 6 or 7 degrees again for days and days. So, and I don't have every day spare to just suddenly go on a hike if the weather looks good. So just nice to be out and getting my vitamin D. This is so nice. Little wren. Right, back at civilization. What you don't want is to be getting lost up here and having to call for help. Especially when you have no idea if your phone has enough signal to make a call for help. So I try to be careful, because obviously I'm on my own. So I mean, that tells you there's a trail, doesn't it? We'll explore that in more detail when I get back and see where I went wrong. But I didn't see any of that on the map. So, I mean, this all looks well walked. I can see footprints here as well. So I don't know. There's footprints everywhere. So I have no idea what's going on up here and why. Let's see if we can get across here. Oh, it's not too bad. But you can see where people are walking. recently, so I don't know. I don't feel any great urgency to get anywhere. Yeah, I just wanted to be out. Look, footprints. There's a human been here very recently. It may be the human that I saw hiking out in front of me today. And this, yeah, there's footprints here. This is like vehicles have been up here. This feels more sensible, although I'm still not sure I should be here. My boots are rubbing, which is not helping. Ow. That's not good, actually. I think I'm going to have to give up. My boots have really stopped. Well, one boot has started to really rub. I broke them in last year, and I devised a way of packing out the sensitive spots around my foot with sponge, and that really worked. And then after a while, I didn't need it anymore. I'd just broken them in. But today, I ended up with a really bad blister on my left heel, and it really hurts. So I'm not going to go any further. Walking downhill doesn't hurt as much because my foot is pushing forward into the boot, which is taking the pressure off the heel. So I think I'm just going to go back because it's really sore. And you can't enjoy a hike when you're in pain. It's ridiculous. And if it gets really bad, I might not be able to walk back at all, and I've still got to get all the way home again. So I think I'm just going to turn around and head back. I kind of run out of trail anyway. I don't know if I should be walking across here, although other people have hiked up here, I think. Although maybe the shoes I've been following are people who manage the land, in which case maybe I shouldn't be around here. It's really hard to tell. I'm glad I've seen the red grouse, and I can hear another one in front of me. Does anybody know what these boxes are? Look, there's a whole line of them. You can see that. There's a line of them going into the distance there. I have no idea what they are. They're just a three-sided wooden structure, like a C shape. Straighten that one. So here I am, going back. It's a short hike. I think I've only done a couple of miles. But it's nice to get out. Well, at least I've explored it. I wanted to see what was up here for quite a while. And I've parked up at that spot where I am today a number of times and walked the Longdon Dale Trail, which you can find on the playlist on my other channel. All my old hikes are on there. So if you're looking for places to hike, there's the Longdendale Trail is long. You don't have to do the whole thing. It runs from the Woodhead Tunnel all the way to Hadfield and Padfield and Glossop. But it's a straight route. You'd have to turn and come back again. But it's a nice flat route. It's nice and easy. So if you just want a nice flat hike or a cycle or whatever, that's a good one. And you run along the side of the reservoirs and you get beautiful views there. It's really nice. But I've done it a couple of times now, so I need to make sure that I'm doing other things. Enormous holly tree there. Is it a holly tree? It looks like a holly tree. I can't imagine what else would be evergreen around here. Have you ever seen a holly tree that big? these fabulous rock formations. That rock has laid down in thin layers. Huh. So there's a geological word for that, but I don't know what it is. Just remembered I've got to renegotiate that brook on the way back. This is a lot steeper than I remember going up, but at least it's downward. Got all the birds nesting. You can see that. I'm back at the brook. Let's see if I can get back across without falling in. Right, so I am going to stop for a moment and try and get across the water. Well, I got back across the brook, but I did get wet. Those stones are really slippery, and I didn't fall over, I didn't slip over, but I almost lost my balance on a couple of steps and ended up in slightly deeper water. It doesn't matter because I'm almost back at the car, so everything needs washing and drying out anyway. So that's alright. I have slightly cooler feet now. Feet definitely hurt though. Now I'm walking on the flat again, I can feel it. But I'm nearly back. Oh well. You can hear the birds. There are warblers and wrens and a blackbird and robins. I'll give you that last view as we head back to the car. Right, so I'm back. I feel really tired actually. I haven't done a hike in a long time. And that was quite steep, so I think we did quite well there. It's a start. It's early in the year. Plenty more time. I've got to re-brake in. I don't think it's my boots that need braking in. I think it's my feet. It's like, just so annoying because I mastered that last year, and by the end of the year I was hiking without needing any of the padding, but looks like I'm going to have to start that again. Anyway, so that's that done. I hope you enjoyed that. There'll be maps and things and links, so if you are in this area and you do want to give this one a go, then you can do that. And I hope you enjoyed it, and see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.